I did not notice the big differences between Australia and America at first. I expected culture shock to announce itself loudly through rules, accents, or obvious lifestyle changes. Instead, it crept in quietly through moments so small they almost felt meaningless. It started with how people waited. No sighs, no eye rolling, no subtle competition for space. People stood there calmly, as if time was not something they needed to fight. That unsettled me more than chaos ever would. In America, waiting feels loaded. It feels like wasted time, like someone is taking something from you. Here, waiting felt neutral, almost peaceful. I caught myself checking my posture, my hands, my surroundings out of habit. Nothing required it. No one reacted to anyone else. The absence of tension felt strange, like a sound suddenly stopping mid-sentence. I realized I had trained myself to expect friction everywhere I went. Australia did not remove friction dramatically, it simply refused to add it. That refusal exposed how much effort I used to spend bracing myself every single day without realizing it. The next small thing that shocked me was how people moved through shared spaces. Sidewalks, crossings, entrances, even narrow walkways felt cooperative instead of competitive. No one rushed to cut ahead, no one defended space with their shoulders or eyes. People adjusted naturally, without signaling dominance or urgency. In America, movement feels like negotiation. You read people quickly and decide who yields and who does not. Here, that calculation never started. I found myself slowing down without planning to. My steps matched the pace around me. That scared me at first because slowing down felt unsafe based on everything I learned back home. Yet nothing happened. No conflict followed, no irritation surfaced. The environment did not reward alertness. It rewarded awareness without fear. That distinction mattered. It changed how my body reacted before my mind had time to analyze it. I stopped anticipating problems. I stopped rehearsing reactions. Public space stopped feeling like something I had to survive and started feeling like something I could simply exist inside. Another small shock came through eye contact and silence. In America, eye contact often carries meaning. It signals challenge, judgment, interest, or caution. Silence feels heavy, like something needs to fill it before it turns uncomfortable. In Australia, eye contact felt brief and neutral. Silence did not demand explanation. Conversations paused without awkwardness. People allowed gaps without rushing to prove anything. That took me time to adjust to because I was used to managing tone constantly. Back home, every interaction feels like performance. You watch words, posture, timing. Here, communication felt lighter. People said what they meant without layering it in defense. I noticed I was speaking more slowly, listening more fully, not because I decided to, but because the space allowed it. That revealed how much energy I once spent protecting myself socially. Australia did not force me to open up, it removed the need to stay guarded. Even small mistakes carried different weight. Standing in the wrong spot, asking a question twice, looking confused. In America, those moments trigger self-correction fast because embarrassment feels close. Here, mistakes barely registered. People responded with patience rather than irritation. No one rushed to remind you of rules or expectations. That changed how I treated myself, too. I stopped criticizing my own missteps immediately. I realized how often fear of judgment shaped my behavior before. Australia softened that instinct through repetition. Calm responses became predictable. Predictability built trust. Trust lowered stress. None of this happened through a single event. It happened through consistency. Every calm interaction reinforced the next. Those small things stacked quietly until I realized something had shifted inside me. I was not adapting to Australia. Australia was undoing habits I no longer needed. Over time, these small interactions stopped feeling surprising and started feeling dependable. That reliability mattered more than kindness alone. When behavior stays consistent, the mind stops scanning for danger. I noticed how my reactions softened in everyday situations. I stopped bracing for tone changes. I stopped preparing explanations before speaking. Even my posture shifted without intention. Shoulders relaxed. Breathing slowed. None of this came from effort or awareness. It came from repetition. Every calm exchange reinforced the next. Every neutral response reminded my nervous system nothing was about to escalate. In America, I learned to stay ready because unpredictability felt close. Here, predictability became normal. That predictability created safety in a way alarms and rules never did. Safety came from expectation, not enforcement. People expected respect, so they gave it first. That reversed how I understood public life.
Instead of defending myself from others, I began assuming cooperation. That assumption quietly changed how I showed up everywhere. I realized how much of my energy back home went toward preventing problems instead of living through moments. Australia returned that energy slowly, interaction by interaction, without asking for anything in return. What surprised me most was how deeply these small things affected identity. I did not feel like I became a different person here. I felt like parts of me no longer needed to perform. In the US, identity feels sharpened by tension. You adapt constantly to environment, expectations, and risk. Here, identity softened. I did not need to signal awareness or strength. I did not need to read rooms aggressively. I could exist without proving anything. That freedom felt unfamiliar at first. Silence no longer meant danger. Stillness no longer meant vulnerability. I trusted people without consciously deciding to. Trust emerged from consistency, not belief. That distinction mattered. Belief requires effort. Consistency rewires instinct. Australia reshaped instinct. Over time, I noticed I reacted less and reflected more. I felt present instead of prepared. I was no longer measuring safety through control. I was experiencing safety through absence of threat. That changed how I understood myself. I was not guarded by nature. I had been trained to be guarded. Living here removed the training, layer by layer, through everyday behavior no one ever announced. Those small things added up faster than any major event ever could. There was no single moment I pointed to and said, "This is when everything changed." The change revealed itself when I stopped noticing fear entirely. That realization arrived quietly and stayed. Australia did not shock me with difference. It surprised me with consistency. Calm, repeated often enough, becomes normal. Respect, practiced daily, becomes expected. Safety, experienced through behavior, becomes invisible. That invisibility is powerful. It means peace no longer needs attention. Looking back, I understand why these differences felt so small at first. Big changes announce themselves. Deep ones settle in. Australia did not transform me. It removed pressure. It allowed what was already there to surface again. When people ask what shocked me most, I do not talk about beaches or accents or distance. I talk about the small things, the things no one warns you about, the habits that quietly retrain how you feel in your own body. Once those take hold, you do not feel changed. You feel uncovered.